everybody. My name is Mark Stanifer, and I'm joined by my friend and colleague, Craig Fullen. And welcome to this first installment of From Surviving to Thriving, helping you to excel in this new normal. Craig, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. There's so much that's happened in a short period of time.
Yeah, it's been really crazy. So many people have been impacted, whether it's their job being, temporarily suspended, potentially even being eliminated. People are uncertain about their finances, and a lot of people now are just hunkered down in their homes.
Yeah, this is definitely shaping up to be a new normal with a big question of how long it's going to last. And I know there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of uncertainty. This definitely is that VUCA environment, right? That volatile, uncertain, chaotic, ambiguous. There's just a lot of uncertainty around what's going on, which is why we wanted to begin to record a series of videos for you, the listener, that really represent tips and ideas and best practices and some resources for how you can navigate yourself well through this new normal. It is my goal, and it is Craig's personal goal, as well as our hope, that when this season is over, whenever it comes to an end, you can look back on it and realize that you came out in a better and stronger and healthier way than when you came in. That's what we want for you, and that's why we're recording these videos together.
Well, I learned something new about that VUCA term. I had not heard of that before.
It comes from the military, and I've heard it tossed around for a couple of years. But if this doesn't qualify for VUCA, I'm not sure what really does. So, Craig, as we were kicking around where to get started, there's a lot of different ideas that we had, but I think where we wanted to start was just acknowledging that for many people, their physical living and working environment has now been disrupted, if you will. Not so much that they're living in different places, but things that used to take place outside of the home, for many, are now taking place inside the home, whether that's schooling, or like in my case, my college son is back from college and he's now re-engaged with us, or so many people are working from home. And so I thought, let's start with this physical environment area and just acknowledge that the physical environment for many has changed, particularly in place of work. And what are some things that we are thinking about, that they need to be thinking about in order to really thrive in this new environment?
Absolutely. And, for you and I, we both have been working from home for a while. So we've got some experiences in this. And, but it's still a little bit different right now, because now we've got our families here full time as well. And so,
That's right.
So for some people, they've never worked from home and they've got the family to deal with. So it presents a little bit of a challenge. And, I think the first thing that people need to think about when they start working from home is just their physical environment, and making sure that they've got a space where they can be productive and get the things done that they need to do. I've actually heard of some couples working side by side at the kitchen table, that may or may not work.
Yep.
But you really got to think about the physical environment, and, everything from, having a desk that works for you, a chair that works for you, the proper lighting, and just something that's going to make you productive and feel like you're in an environment that's going to make you productive.
But some of this has got to be improvisation too, right? Improv, because if you don't have an office set up at home, and now you have two people working at home where there was not one before, you're going to have to be a little creative, I think, in making that space in such a way that will work for you.
Yeah, definitely. So you really have to think about, what locations are going to work for you, and really provide as much of a distraction-free environment. I mean, that's the big thing about productivity in any work environment is eliminating the distractions, right? And so, you got to think about also what boundaries do you need to have in place with your family during that time that you actually need to work.
So say more about that. What do you mean by boundaries?
Well, I think first of all, you got to think about, what time is going to be your designated time. And, now with the kids not going to school, it's really altered a lot of people's schedules, right? So a lot of people are so used to getting up, getting their kids ready for school, and then they did what they needed to do to get ready for work and start working. And now everybody's completely off schedule. My sons sleep until 3 p.m. So I still have to be, yeah, that's true. I still have to be the person that, gets up at the times that I need to get the things done that I need to do within kind of what the framework that works for me. But kind of related to that, not only is my son sleep until 3, he's going to bed at late hours. And so, I finally had to really just kind of say, well, I'm going to bed at the times I need to go to bed so I can be rested to be productive.
Yeah, I was just having that conversation with my wife earlier today because I've seen her bedtime drift a little bit and her wake time drift a little bit, which is fine for her, except she was feeling tired throughout the day. And I'm like, look, babe, you may need to just say, I can't do this right now, even though the kids are around and my boys are awake well into tomorrow as well. You may just have to say, I can't do this right now. I've certainly learned that in my own life, that I need to maintain a consistent bedtime in order for me to be productive the next day and to not pay for it. And in some respects, this is it's a nice change of pace. It can be, but it's not a vacation. Right. There are still, if you're working from home, there's still stuff that's got to be done. And so creating those boundaries and that space to get it done is pretty important.
Right. And so one of the things I like to think about too, kind of it maybe relates to the boundaries, is really thinking about prioritizing, what things do you need to get done today? And, you might not get everything done as the same way that you would have if you were working in your normal work environment, but at least kind of prioritize your list. Like, these are the calls I need to make. These are the tasks that I need to get done. And then even within that, you still need to provide some areas for you to have regular breaks, because it's that doesn't happen as naturally sometimes when you're working at home. And making sure you're still taking care of yourself and you're getting hydrated, staying hydrated, and keeping yourself as much in the best physical condition while you're working as possible.
That was one of the things I had to learn the hard way when I started working from home, is that I could get lost in something for a couple of hours, and I would be sitting in a comfortable couch, or like a recliner or something like that. And I wouldn't move for 2 hours because I'd be typing away, or I'd be reading something or concentrating on something. And by the time I realized that 2 hours had gone past, my legs had stiffened up, my back had stiffened up, and I'm like, but I can't continue to do this. I have to make sure that I'm changing my position. I'm getting up, I'm taking a short break, I'm getting some fluids. Even if it's just to stretch my legs, I'm standing up on a regular basis, because my posture was never all that great in the corporate office. But when I got home, I noticed that the posture had shifted a bit to the negative. And I just had to make sure that every 30, 45, 60 minutes, I'm up and moving in some respects, just to make sure I'm not physically doing harm to my legs and my back and my neck and my head, because I knew I would pay for it.
Well, and also you talked about those, couple hours where you might not have taken a break or adjusted your position, and maybe you had a decent amount of productivity during that time, but like you said, you probably paid for it later, right? That, and you got to think about, hey, if I have a full work day, or at least I have, this block of time where I do need to be available to work, you want to be at your best in terms of mentally and physically. So you just got to think about that more, kind of the marathon approach as opposed to the sprint.
Yeah. You know, the other thing that you make me think of is just, and this kind of gets into maybe more of a mindset, which is coming in our next installment. But just having a perspective that this is a disruption for everybody. It's a disruption for the kids. It's a disruption for the spouse. It's a disruption for coworkers. Everybody has been disrupted through this process. So your ability to be gracious and compassionate, not only to others, but to yourself during this time period, I think can be pretty beneficial as well. And again, that kind of drifts more into that mental environment that we're going to talk about in a coming episode or two. But as kids are encroaching, as spouses encroaching, as coworkers are not as responsive, just keep in mind that everybody's been disrupted just like you, and some grace and some compassion and kindness can go a long way.
That's a great point. And I was just on the phone the other day with a customer service rep from a company, and, I thanked her for taking care of me during this difficult time. And she was very appreciative. I mean, you could just tell that she sincerely appreciated that, I was very patient with her handling my matter and, staying calm and, because it was something that needed to be addressed. And so I think that the more we can do that for others, it just makes the world a better place. Again, it's a difficult time for everyone, and we just have to be aware of that.
Yeah, that's right. Well, as I alluded to, we've got a bunch more ideas coming with the mental environment coming down the road here next, and lots of different other ideas that some of them come from bruises and scars that we've earned, and some of them come from conversations that we've been in. But we want for you to be able to come out of this on the other side better and stronger than you went in. That's our personal goal, and that's our hope for you as you engage with us here. You will find our contact information at the end of the video. Feel free to contact us. Maybe you can suggest topics or questions. We'll see where this goes. We're just getting started. We've got ideas, but we're also going to let this evolve and grow organically based on your feedback. And the final thing I would say is just to thank you. Thank you for journeying with us. Thank you for engaging here, and thank you for your willingness to engage and improve yourself in this way. If you lean in, you will be better off as a result. That is for sure. I can attest to that. Craig can attest to that. And we hope that will be your experience as well.
Absolutely. And if I could give one last bit of advice, noise canceling headphones.
There we go. We'll leave you with that. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. We'll see you next time. Until then, take care.
Take care, everybody.